Look, I didn't think that I'd be saying this in 2025, but here we are. A global mega-conglomerate just pulled off a rebrand that actually has personality. I'm talking about PepsiCo, the parent company of Pepsi, Gatorade, and Mountain Dew. Right? A company so massive, so sprawling, so corporate coded that most people barely know that it exists. And out of nowhere, they dropped their first corporate rebrand in 25 years. A new symbol, a new voice, a complete rethink of what PepsiCo even is. Today, we're breaking down exactly what changed for PepsiCo, why they changed it, and whether this redesign actually solves the nearly impossible challenge, giving a faceless conglomerate a face. But before we get into it, I'm Ziggy the Designer. I'm a graphic designer who's worked alongside some of the world's most recognizable brands, including United Airlines, Target, and Stanford University. If you like the conversations we're having on the show, be sure to support the channel by giving this episode a like, leaving a comment down below, and of course, by subscribing. Let's get into it. Design is all around us, so we might as well talk about it. So let's start with the visuals, because this isn't some minor brand refresh. This is a full-scale identity overhaul. At the center of the system, we have the new P symbol, but it's not just, a letter form slapped in a circle. It's built from layered, abstract shapes that represent the core pillars of PepsiCo's business. Food and drink, think chips, oatmeal, snacks, all the stuff you forget that PepsiCo owns. Drink and water, right? The beverage empire that leads the brand. Sustainability, a leaf motif ties this directly to their environmental strategy. And a built-in smile. It's not anything goofy or literal. It's subtle enough that you feel it more than you see it. The P symbol is doing a lot of storytelling here. It's function over flash. The shapes are geometric but warm. The whole thing feels intentional. And unlike most corporate brands, it's not just, a blue word mark with some white space, right? The color palette also shifts away from the expected Pepsi red, white, and blue. We're talking earthy neutrals, deep blues, and greens inspired by water and crops. This is them saying, we're not just the Pepsi logo. We're not just the Pepsi brand. We are a global food and beverage ecosystem. Looking at the typography, it's lowercase. It's human. It's clear. It's not trying to be, modern or futuristic, not trying to be trendy. It is just confident. And the tagline floating around the entire system: food, drinks, smiles. It's a corporate line, right? But surprisingly, it doesn't feel super robotic. Overall, it's clean, it's modern, and refreshingly non-techy. No gradients, no meaningless minimalism. This is a corporate rebrand built for real people. But why did they do it, right? Let's get into the why, because this is where everything clicks. Here's the brutal truth. Most people have no idea what PepsiCo actually is. Ask someone to name a PepsiCo brand that isn't Pepsi. Fewer than a quarter of people can probably do it. And that's wild, right? This is a company that owns Lay's, Gatorade, Doritos, Quaker, Tropicana, Cheetos, Ruffles, and hundreds of more brands that are probably sitting in your pantry right now. PepsiCo has been living in this weird identity limbo, though. They're enormous, but they're also invisible. So this rebrand, it accomplishes three huge objectives. Number one is that it clarifies the parent brand's role. PepsiCo, the parent brand, right? This isn't a soda company anymore. It's a food and beverage powerhouse. The rebrand expands their corporate personality so they can speak for all of their categories, not just soda. Number two, it ties their purpose to sustainability. PepsiCo has been pushing sustainability hard for years, with their Pep Plus initiative. This rebrand bakes that directly into the identity instead of sticking it into a CSR PDF no one is going to ever read. When your symbol literally references water, crops, and leaves, it's clear that you're trying to redefine your values visually, not just verbally. And number 3, it allows the brand to speak like a human, not like your friend who's a McKinsey consultant. Soft edges, lowercase letters, a smile integrated into the main icon. They're trying to show people the company cares about community, climate impact, and global well-being. This rebrand is basically saying, we're huge, but we don't have to feel huge. So what do I think about it? Well, here's my take, and this might surprise some people. I think this is one of the strongest, smartest corporate rebrands we've seen from a Fortune 100 company in years. Usually these rebrands feel like designed by committee. It's bland, generic, forgettable. It's the kind of design where an agency presents 40 different concepts and the board picks the safest one in the folder. Take a look at PepsiCo's counterparts. Right? It's textbook. It's exactly what we just talked about. But PepsiCo took a different path here. They didn't try to make a futuristic algorithm, looking type of P icon. They didn't chase whatever aesthetic Silicon Valley and Wall Street is obsessed with this year. They didn't try to mimic Pepsi's bombastic visual style either. They designed a corporate identity that feels warm, intuitive, multidimensional, and surprisingly human, all while representing a portfolio that spans snacks, drinks, health, wellness, agriculture, and so on, right? That's not an easy thing to do. It solves a real business problem here. Conglomerates have no personality. They are traditionally invisible, sterile, and as we said before, absolutely forgettable. But PepsiCo's new system, it gives them a visual identity that actually feels like something. It doesn't feel like Pepsi or Gatorade or Lay's. It's something entirely its own. Is it perfect? No, right? The symbol borders on corporate safe. There will absolutely be designers saying it's too calm, too neutral, too inoffensive. And I'm sure some of you are watching this right now. But in my eyes, that's the point, right? This isn't a youth-facing brand. This isn't a snack targeted at 17-year-olds. This is a parent brand with billions of dollars in revenue, thousands of employees, global power, massive sustainability goals, and responsibility to investors. This identity needs to be flexible, universal, and trustworthy. And this system does exactly that. It gives PepsiCo something it never fully had, and that is a visible personality. And in the world of design, that is a massive win. But what do you think about the PepsiCo rebrand? Do you feel like it's a breath of fresh air, or do you feel like this is just a big corporation being a big corporation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. That's all I have for you. Be sure to support the show by giving this episode a like, subscribing, and of course by sharing this one out. I've been Ziggy the Designer. If there are 2 things you need to know about me, it's that 1, I love design, and 2, I'm very opinionated. I'll talk with y'all later. Bye-bye.